Nigga Fallen for Boxing News, delighted to be joined by promoter Kalle Sauerland here in Manchester. Kalle, been a while, how are we?
Yeah, how you been, mate?
Good fight week, enjoying it. What did you think of the new matchroom set up today?
Yeah, I love it. Listen, I like all those innovations in the sport. I'm quite had a few innovations in my time as well. So we keep trying to rework things, and I agree with it. I mean, I think press conferences are not really press conferences anymore because I haven't seen any written journalists here today even, and that's the way it is. It's a visual sport now, so you turn it into a media content like you would a fight night. So I quite like it. We've done something similar as well with the Channel 5 stuff. We don't really do the press conference. We do a press media day where we've got different zones, and there was even a barber turning up once and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I'm getting older, but we got a young team, luckily.
That's enough free PR for Eddie Hearn. Let's talk about your man, Harlem Eubank, in the step up, the big fight that he's been calling for quite a while now. Jack Catterall, very established fighter, albeit at 140 pounds. Harlem 2, a relatively new addition to the welterweight division. Give me your thoughts. Tell me why your man springs what would be considered an upset and defeats Jack Catterall.
Yeah, I think that we just know everything there is to know about Jack Catterall. That's not taking anything away from him. I think he's a fantastic operator. Absolute world class operator, but we know everything about him, and I just think that there's more. There's not only more to Harlem, but people haven't seen what Harlem can do yet. Yeah, this is the first fight at this level, so I just think we've got everything stacked on our side. He'll be under real pressure to win this fight, Catterall, and in a ways Harlem of course is as well. They both are, but. Look at it from Catterall's point of view. He's going in and he's fighting a guy. He knows he's a rising star. He knows he's getting better fight for fight, but he's got nothing really to study. So it's like, where can this fight go? Does he, what styles can he change when he goes into the championship rounds? When he goes deep waters, what does he do? We know what Catterall does in deep waters because he's been there. He's got the experience of that. With Harlem, we've got someone who, it's going to be difficult to prepare for.
How much confidence do you take from the way that Harlem dealt with Tyrone McKenna? Now, that was a fight he was expected to win, but I saw people picking Tyrone for the upset. I saw a lot of people saying it would be a tough night for Harlem, and didn't really prove to be that. He dominated the fight from the opening bell, dropped Tyrone several times and stopped him. So, although it's a step up from that version of Tyrone McKenna to Jack Catterall, you must take confidence from the manner of that victory.
Yeah, definitely the manner of it. You'll never meet a soft man from Belfast, so it's just that. Yeah, I was just about to say, bloody hell. The walking example here. But joking aside, when we signed up to that fight, and I think we spoke just before the fight as well, and it was for me a roll of the dice. It's just that this roll is a bit bigger, and we're basing it on what happened in the McKenna fight. And that's what you're doing as a promoter when you're making plans for a career. You've got to roll the dice. You've got to keep rolling the dice. So that's what, by the way, what makes the sport exciting. Sometimes you roll unsuccessfully, you go back down, and it's a bit like snakes and ladders, and then you've got to build back up. It happens, but we've got it right so far, and we feel like we've got it right for Saturday night. And I can't really say more than that, other than that McKenna. Before that fight, I wasn't nervous. I knew we'd be good, and that's rare with having someone. Like going back to the tough Belfast guy, that's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly what we signed up for. On this occasion, I still haven't worked out why they're doing it. I don't know why Catterall's doing it. I get that it's a bigger event than him fighting someone from Mexico or wherever. Get that part. Bringing a few extra bums on seats and the zone paying a bit more for it. I get that. I get the business part of it. But then again, Harlem costs more. So I don't know. From an economic point of view, it doesn't really make much sense. And I don't know. It's just like I find it a bit bizarre. So it's fine. But we'll take it. That's why we're here. It's an absolute snatch and grab job, this one.
If you do get the desired outcome and Harlem gets the victory, just what does that do for his career, given how hot the Eubank name is, the success of Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, the fact that his uncle's a viral sensation, the welterweight division is really opening up as well with Jerome Bateson leaving. You'd have a real star on your hands, wouldn't you, if Harlem was to pull this off?
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we're in the business of building stars. I've done 27 years of building stars, so sometimes you get them right, sometimes you get them wrong. On this one, it just feels all right because it's been that sort of a journey. I remember him coming to us and we put him on a round deal just to test him out. And Harlem has been a joy to work with, a real humble guy. So it's, he's got the name, and they're all very different. I've worked with a lot of Eubanks, and every Eubank is a little different to the other, but they're all, they've all got star qualities about them.
And just a couple other bits and bobs. Mick Conlan, Jack Bateson, one that sort of came out of left field a bit. I think the narrative that was being reported was that Mick would go on to fight for that European title. Jack Bateson, good domestic fighter, but one you expect Mick to look good against?
Yeah, look, I think, whenever it's a sort of an Ireland English contest, it's always exciting. It's not done yet, though. I know it's out there that it's been done. You won't see tickets on sale because it's not done yet. We hope to get it done, and we hope to announce it very shortly, but it's not quite there yet. If it pulls off, it'll be our first ever card in Dublin, and Mick's first ever night in Dublin against an Englishman. I think it's and there's no writing off Jack Bates. He's a very, very, very good fighter. So trying to put on something special that night there in Dublin. It's a great date as well, straight after the summer, September the 5th. Live on Channel 5. It's got the makings of a big night. Yeah, looking really forward to it.
Josh Kelly, Bakrham Murtazaliev, I believe it was Lance Pugmire of The Ring who reported that there was pretty advanced talks for that to land on a Riyadh season show. Yeah.
My phone's non-stop. I'm just waiting for someone who actually to tell me that it's on, because we haven't been approached by anyone yet from the, let's say, the Ring organisation to put it on that show. I think it would make a great addition to the card in September, but at the same time we're looking at a few other ways of what we could potentially do outside of that, and it's a big fight. There's a lot of big fights out there for Josh now, and the win in Newcastle was important just to keep it ticking, but we're not trying to disguise the fact he's due this big fight, and we need to find it.
Very last question, is that just a case of because the 154 division is so hot, and Murtazaliev, although he's a world champion, he's a bit of a boogeyman, not well known amongst your casual fans, and Josh is well ranked, is it just maybe not jumping at the opportunity to see what else might emerge?
Yeah, look, I think Josh has got options at 160 and at 154, yeah. But he's got those two positions. One is obviously with Murtazaliev, one is with the WBO. So as a promoter, we look, what's the best route? The IBF, of course, you've got Lubin sitting there as well. It's a bit more of a messy situation.
Kalle, thanks for the time. Enjoy the rest of the week in Manchester, and looking forward to it.
Thank you, pal.